25 years of impactful journalism. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kukumlimle at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Max in Takrady. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank. Let's go. In this edition, COVID-19 infections among health workers in the central region rising as 120 personnel contract the virus, and officials are worried.
And it's quite worrying for us because if health workers go down, and they are our frontline workers, then the fight against COVID will be compromised.
We'll bring you details as 45 of the workers are on admission in various health facilities. Government says the new Tema motorway interchange will give a boost to Ghana's economy as it will help facilitate trade from the industrial city to various parts of the country and the West African region.
For many, many years, residents living in and around the Tema metropolis and motorists plying this route have had to endure the inconvenience of unbearable traffic and a poor road network.
And in sports,
we'll hear from WBO Africa Super Bantamweight champion Wasiu Jatabi Mohammed, who is bent on avenging Isaac Dogbe's devastating defeat to Emmanuel Navarrete.
And we continue our Spotlight series celebrating some of Ghana's music legends. Today, we hear from Jeduble Ambali, the man who fused high life and funk music into what many have come to know as Simigwa music.
The first song that I made, that was the song that made my name to be known in Ghana. Kwaji, Baham, about the booster, what are the Kwaji, the Ransa Pantado, it's made my name to be known.
That's and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. Please stay for details. And in our very first story, health officials in the central region have expressed worry about the increasing rate of COVID-19 infections among health workers in the region. Nearly 120 frontline workers in the central region have tested positive for COVID-19. Deputy Regional Health Director in charge of Public Health, Dr. Godfred Sapon, cites the non-adherence to the safety protocols, giving as many health workers as a major factor accounting for the rising cases among health staff.
That's where we feel that a lot of our health workers unfortunately, are not observing these protocols when they enter their communities and in their homes. And even within our health facilities, when they are interacting with themselves. And so you enter a typical facility where nurses have a changing room and they change into their scrubs. And you don't see some of our nurses, wearing the face mask when they're interacting with themselves. And that's quite worrying. And that could possibly be one of the reasons accounting for the spread among our health workers. Because they live in the communities, it's also possible they're picking it from the communities when they don't observe the preventive protocols.
Now, Central Regional Correspondent Richard Kojonyako joins us with more details on this. Richard, almost 120 frontline workers testing positive. Quite a serious situation. Give us a breakdown of their conditions and how they're being catered for.
Well, as of Thursday, 111 health staff in the region have tested positive for the virus. 45 of these persons are receiving treatment at the various treatment centers, while the remaining are receiving care in their respective homes. We are told that a lot of them are recovering, but others too are also under serious management. So these are part of the region's caseload of 439. And then the health staff in the region they are undergoing mandatory testing. And so if you take the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, for example, about 30 of the health staff have been infected. Nina has 19, Abrasibu has 19, and then you have the Kasua area and then the Fantimana area. So the Deputy Regional Health Director in charge of the public health, Dr. Godfred Asari, is blaming this partly on the lack of strict adherence to the safety protocols, as he earlier indicated.
But how are the health workers themselves responding to these concerns that has come up from the Deputy Director in charge of public health, for instance?
So they say that it is overly simplistic for them to be blamed for the high infection rate among the health staff. They make the point that the contact of positive cases who are health workers are being made to work and their samples have been taken without being made to self-isolate until the test results come, or they undergoing the mandatory 14 days in their various homes or at the holding bay. According to them, many of such health workers continue to work with them, and by the time their health results, their test results come, they would have been infected, or they would have infected other health staff as well.
Now, let's quickly touch on the impact on healthcare delivery in the region when we have 120 of these health workers being infected.
Well, so there is a lot of anxiety among health staff. They say they fear for not only their families but the public as well. Those who come to the hospitals on a daily basis, the situation has left them scared. And Dr. Sapon has been speaking about this. He says that he wants them to wear their face masks and also observe the social distancing protocols even among themselves. And if you look at the central region, the region finds itself about 30 days ago, the region had about 1 or 2 cases, but now the cases are up to about 439. Cape Coast leads the pack with 106, followed by the KEA with 95, then the Usu Senior area, that's the Kaso area, and then Abra Sebuko Amankesi area.
And it's quite worrying for us because if health workers go down, and they are our frontline workers, then the fight against COVID will be compromised. Those are territories we don't want to enter into. So we're taking this a lot more seriously, and we're giving it all the necessary attention that it needs and requires, and we continue to engage with facility managers and our district directors to do the needful, make sure that our health workers are observing all the necessary protocols.
That's the Deputy Regional Health Director in charge of Public Health, Dr. Godfred Sapon there. Earlier, you also heard our Central Regional Correspondent, Richard Kojonyako. Let's stay a while longer on the health front because mental health experts in the Ashanti region say they're seeing increasing cases of anxiety disorder and depression, especially in young people, all linked to the fear of COVID-19. They review many young patients have conditions linked to the fear of contracting the virus and losing their livelihoods. Ohiming Teria of our health desk has more in the following report.
Meet 24-year-old Freda Ejay. She is among many young people whose social life has been affected by the fear of contracting COVID-19.
Recently, there's this COVID-19 issue. It's very, very, very scary, especially for me. Even the name causes panic. It has affected my personal life and even work life to the extent that I can't even sleep. I can't eat well.
Unlike many others who are seeking psychological care, Freda is not. She hopes to wake up one day to see COVID-19 disappear.
Right now, we are hoping for a cure. If there is a cure, we know that there is hope. If not, I don't really know what to do.
Ashanti region has seen its cases rise in recent days to 1,452 with 17 deaths. Out of the number, about 1,000 of the infected are between 10 and 39 years. Doctors say the trend is inspiring fear, which is affecting the mental health of many young people like Freda.
When we recorded our first 2 cases, in fact, I was really scared. That day I didn't come to work. I was sleepless.
Dr. Ruth Oswentry is the head specialist psychiatric unit of the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital.
Those who do not already have mental health issues have started having mental health issues. Just the direct effect of the COVID. The majority of them come with anxiety issues.
At the specialist psychiatric unit of the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, doctors say they are seeing more COVID-19 mental health related cases. Daily reported cases have shot up from 10 to about 30.
Those who already have diagnosis, most of them are relapsing, and for various reasons. Some of them are afraid to come to the hospital setting, to even come for their regular reviews, because they believe that the hospital is the front line. It's where the COVID cases are. It's where the virus is. And so they don't want to even come. They wait at home until they've run out of their medication. So our old clients are relapsing. Some are coming with comorbidity. Somebody that we were treating with depression will now come in with full-blown anxiety disorder, as some of them have had businesses breaking down.
Depression, which did not show in the first 5 cases in 2019, now sits third in the psychiatric cases recorded in the first quarter of 2020. Faustina Nyako is the Ashanti Regional Mental Health Coordinator.
If you look at the figures as compared to 2019, you can see that the cases are increasing. In 2019, from January to June, we had 5,180 cases. That is new cases of mental illness. Then in 2020, from January to April, we have 4,022 new cases. So you can see that we have 2 more months to end up with the half year. But if you compare the figure to the 2019 January to June, you can see that this figure is a bit higher.
Experts warn the number of COVID-19 related mental illness could quadruple in the coming months. The situation calls for immediate attention. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Onyentia reporting.
From the Ashanti region, we head to the Western region, where Joy News can confirm that 3 babies between the ages of 4 to 11 months have been burned to ashes at Bibiani Arionso Bekwai in the Western North region on Wednesday night. Confirming the news, Operating Officer of the Ghana Fire Service at the Bibiani Bekwai, Assistant Divisional Officer Grade 1 Joseph Kinsley Ibram, said one Madam Monica came to their office and lodged a complaint that the house had been burnt or set ablaze. My colleague Inatalia Kwansa is our regional correspondent. She joins us with details. Ina, what can you report?
Yes, Emefa. So from the fire officer, they heard that the house was on fire. The woman reported. So when they got there, they saw that 3 rooms, that is 2 bedrooms, and the hall was on fire. After fighting the fire for about an hour, they realized that 3 children, that is one, a boy who is 4 years, a girl 3 years, and then another girl who is just 11 months, had all burnt into ashes. So the bodies were rushed to the municipal hospital morgue, and so now they also realized that the fire started from a TV set, and the mother of these children rushed out to the fire office to go for help, whilst leaving these children to sleep in the room.
And that's my colleague Ina Thalia Kwansa reporting from the Western region. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on myjoyonline.com as well as on Facebook as well. Now, the Minister for Roads and Highways says the new Tema motorway interchange will give a boost to Ghana's economy, as it will help facilitate trade from the industrial city to various parts of the country and the West African sub-region. Speaking at the commissioning of the interchange, Kwesi Amoakwata said the project, which began with negotiations in 2015, is only the first phase of 2-part project. He indicated the second phase will soon commence.
And the thermal free zone traffic lights during the peak hours. This will be eliminated by the upcoming projects on all the 4 legs of the interchange to commence before the end of the year. All these other jobs, again, I want to promise, judging from the levels that each one of them has reached, will commence before the end of the year to fully complement this beautiful edifice that we are witnessing.
Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amoakwata. Meanwhile, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Ishmael Ashete lauded President Akufo-Addo for ensuring the realization of the project. He assured the relevant agencies, together with the Tema Metropolitan Assembly, will maintain the project to ensure it serves the country well. Maxwell Agbagba is our man on the ground at the commissioning ceremony. He joins us on the line. So, Maxwell, the President has been speaking. Did he allude to the accusation by the minority that former President Mahama has not been given the credit for this project?
No, in fact, he did not make specific reference to the minority or the NDC. Let me just say that at this program, the expectation was that the President himself or the Roads and Highways Minister would address the concerns raised by the NDC. We spoke to quite a number of people here, and that was what they were expecting. But that did not happen. The closest the President came to addressing the issue is when he made reference to the NDC Green Book, and he said that President Mahama's claim of constructing unprecedented roads in the country is fantasy and only exists in the NDC's Green Book. That was the only statement that he made about the NDC. The Roads and Highway Minister also spoke. He did not make any direct reference to that concern by the NDC and the minority in Parliament.
We made a pledge to the Ghanaian people to expand and improve the road network while closing the missing links is the next one. We have to make this pledge because we know that the so-called unprecedented infrastructure development of the Mahama administration was fantasy, existing in the green book and not on the ground. We know that the provision of quality road infrastructure is an important tool for the socio-economic development of our country. The government will ensure the even spread of such projects across the country.
Now, Maxwell, you've been speaking to some motorists on their impressions of the new interchange. What have they been saying?
Well, some of them are saying that after the completion of this interchange, they've noted that the congestion here has been totally cleared, but what they see is the congestion at the end of the interchange. Now, the Minister of Roads and Highways has been addressing that. He says the second phase of the project, which will see another interchange, making it a third-tier interchange, would address that concern raised by some motorists. Others are also raising concerns about how the lights at the underpass are not right. We spoke to some of them and they want something.
Your call has been put on hold. Well, unfortunately, my colleague Maxwell Agbagba, we've lost him on the phone. Let's head to Parliament, where there's confusion over the terms of reference for the probe ordered by the Speaker of Parliament yesterday into allegations of embezzlement of about $159 million meant for the Saglemi Housing Project. Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachia made the allegation yesterday when he responded to questions on the floor and served notice that former NDC government officials will be prosecuted soon. A report on yesterday's proceedings spells out 3 terms of reference for the committee, but the Speaker told today's citizens those terms are inaccurate. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo joins us shortly on the line, but let's listen to the Speaker.
I observe that the civil office tried to assist me by putting words in my mouth. I would rather that they don't, because if you take the tape recorder, you will hear that I said if you come to consider the issues raised as a whole and make appropriate recommendations to this one. I was very mindful of all the allegations and counter allegations and figures FR. Nevertheless, I refuse to go into that arena, and it will work out clearly by the record. So, if it's an assistance, that better be avoided, and if the capture, as I just said, and then the committee can come and make appropriate findings.
Speaker of Parliament, Professor Mike Okwe, will join our correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo shortly, but Parliament is also expected to debate the report of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee requesting that the House approves the constitutional instrument that will allow for the compilation of a new voters register by the Electoral Commission. You can hear from the Minority Leader, Haruna Idrisu.
Well, Speaker, since 30th April, I've been laboring with my colleague, the Majority Leader, to summon the Electoral Commission, the chairperson and the Commission, to update Parliament and the Committee of the Whole on their roadmap to the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections, and to allow Parliament to interrogate matters related to their procurement, their budget, their political accountability to this House. Speaker, my colleagues have repeatedly deferred the matter, giving me days that I no longer can rely on. The last time he said 19. Today, as is read the business statement, there is no indication. Speaker, political accountability and holding the Electoral Commission accountable as an independent constitutional body is an important.
That's the Minority Leader, Haruna Idrisu, that we'll hear from the majority side, their reaction to this shortly here on the Midday News. Let's move on to some other stories, because a pregnant woman diagnosed with the coronavirus has successfully delivered at the Elwak Level 2 COVID-19 Isolation and Treatment Center. Medical research is yet to establish if pregnant women with COVID-19 are at any risk of becoming seriously ill than other adults with the condition. The center says both mother and baby are safe. Joy News' Beryl and Nestina Richter had an exclusive access to the delivery session. Listen.
We are here at the theater where a cesarean section will be performed shortly for a pregnant woman who has contracted COVID. I'm sure there are questions on the minds of many, and for this particular one, it is very, very important because this pregnant woman has COVID. So I have with me here one of the key members of the medical team. We are joined by Lieutenant Colonel Asari. Tell us what procedure this pregnant woman will be taken through.
So the patient will come in here and then we will clean the back. After cleaning the back, one of my team members here will now give her what we call a spinal anesthesia. And in this case, we are just going to instill some few mils of a local anesthetic agent into the back. And that will numb her from the nipple downwards. That will also facilitate us finishing with the surgery. We are not only thinking about the mother, the baby is equally important. So we are equally ready as well. Once the baby is delivered and the baby will need any form of resuscitation, we would carry that out effectively.
We are still in the theater. We are waiting for the patient to be brought. I have with me here one of the key team members. He is Lieutenant Colonel Ejarijan. He's the obstetrician gynecologist.
Basically, nothing different from the regular cesarean section, except we know that because of the patient's unfortunate infection with COVID-19, we need to take precautions for mother and for baby, and for the team members who will be involved in the procedure. But we don't expect anything untoward or anything different from what a normal cesarean section would be.
So the surgery is over. It's 2 minutes after 1, and I have with me here the gentleman I interviewed early on in the theater, Lieutenant Colonel Ejarijan. He's an obstetrician gynecologist. He told us how the whole surgery went. Well done.
Thank you very much. So generally, as said before, it went as planned. There was actually no any aberration from the normal. What we did was what we'd expect to do anywhere else. And as I said earlier on, except for the fact that the patient unfortunately has been tested COVID positive, there wasn't anything else that went.
So how many minutes did this surgery last?
About an hour.
So what's the sex of the baby?
The baby's a boy. Well, the midwives are just supposed to receive the babies, clean up the baby. We had a pediatrician in there who has examined the baby. So they actually keep taking care of the baby. The baby is actually very well. Came out breathing, kicking and screaming. So baby doesn't need anything special. And currently, the baby is going to be roomed in with the mother throughout the period of the mother.
Thumbs up to your team.
Oh, that's Ernestina Beryl Richter with that report from the Elwak Isolation Center. We go back quickly to Parliament, where our correspondent Joseph Bukugakpo joins us now. We've been talking about the Saglemi housing project and the allegations, and of course a document that has been laid and the terms of reference. Joseph, walk us through it quickly, the terms of reference of that report.
The indication was that the terms of reference that was directed by the Speaker, the MPs were supposed to look into whether the about 40% sum of the money that was paid to the contractor for mobilization was allegedly diverted or otherwise. And that's why the Speaker has been clarifying that those were in the specific terms of reference, and that he wants a general look into whether the project sum was actually something that was adhered to the latter the parliamentary approval that was given.
Now, one other major issue on the floor today is the Subsidiary Legislation Committee report on the constitutional instrument that will allow for the compilation of a new voters register by the Electoral Commission. We've heard from the minority leader and his concerns. What about the majority?
The indication is that report will be laid on the floor of the House by Dr. Dominic Aini, the chairperson, any moment from now. But essentially, the report we gather is recommending that the House approves this particular instrument, despite the concerns of the minority, and the decision was the majority decision. Any moment from now, the report will be laid and the approval will be given for it, so the EC can go ahead with the process.
Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, a good time to take a quick breather here on the Midday News. When we return, we continue our Spotlight series celebrating some of Ghana's music legends. Today we hear from Jedu Blay Ambole, the man who fused high life and funk music into what many have come to know as Simagwa music.
The first song that I made, that was the song that made my name to be known in Ghana. Kwaji.
Time for sports here on the Midday News. Hands.
And WBO Africa Super Bantamweight champion Wasiu Jatabi Mohammed is bent on avenging Isaac Dogbe's devastating defeat to Emmanuel Navarrete. Jatabi holds the WBO global title, but only has eyes for Navarrete's trap and vengeance for his countryman.
The current WBO Global Super Bantamweight champion trains
for several hours at the 5 Square Gym in Kokomlemle. He wants to be ready to do battle after COVID-19.
Now, if you want to be the best, you have to fight the best and prove to the people you are the champion. Because hard work said, nice work, no pain, no gain. So I'm ready for Navarrete anytime, any day, anywhere.
Jatabi, who is now in the top 10 of the WBO Super Bantamweight rankings, is fighting tooth and nail to win a world title for Ghana. But standing between him and glorious glory is Emmanuel Navarrete, the talented Mexican boxer who defeated Ghana's Isaac Dogbe.
Navarrete, watch me, I'm coming like a superstar, I'm coming like a Kakai, I'm coming like a Jatabi. Me and my manager and my team, and my promoter, we are coming, Jatabi, I am always want to suck blood, because Jatabi need blood, I want fresh meat. So anyone in my way, I better come up for the. If not come up for the way I come, I go chop you. See, I go suck your blood. Now start Jinin Kaka again. Yeah, I swear Jatabi vampire.
With a never-ending determination and vaulting ambition, the WBO Super Bantamweight title might just not be a pipe dream.
Wasiu Jatabi Mohammed. He says hard work is not sexy work. Indeed. That's your sport.
Thank you very much, Hans. Now, the coronavirus pandemic has permanently altered the world of work, as many organizations, in an attempt to adhere to social distancing protocols, have asked their employees to work from home. Although there are no available statistics to determine whether employees are reporting greater productivity, experts say it may become the new normal as the COVID-19 shows no signs of abating. In Ghana, many companies, including the Multimedia Group Limited, have asked some of the employees to work from home as well. But what if working from home included lights, camera, and action? Here's the backstory on how Joy News' Israel Lai is anchoring the prime news from his home.
We improvised a lot. I mean, we don't have the technology that the Fox News and the CNNs and the BBC would have.
Other than the obvious, I mean, what is missing doing the show in your home versus doing it in the studio at 355 Fanofa Street?
In the studio, you're used to doing things a certain way. Here at home, you don't have all the equipment that you have back in the studio. The talk back, the studio feel. You're used to, we've worked in that environment for a long time.
Right.
And then now it turns out that things have changed.
Right.
In addition, I'm having to do a lot of the things that the sound man would do, the broadcast technician would do, the lighting man would do.
How do you get your family involved in this?
So Louisa is doing the makeup, and then I'm having Samantha fix the ear in, and she sits, quite close, and then I'm telling her she's like my P or floor manager. Everybody is involved.
There's more in the upcoming Hotline documentary titled The Media, a Virus and Survival, throwing the spotlight on the impact of COVID-19 on the traditional media in Ghana, scheduled to be aired on Monday, June 8th. Louisa is Israel Lai's wife and Samantha is the daughter. And there's more on that Hotline documentary. You want to catch that. It's time for entertainment. And Becky, my favorite girl, is here.
Emefa, today we are throwing the spotlight on Ambule, Jeduble Ambule, man whose rap has been inspired by a madman.
I started way back in secondary. That's where I was born, that's where I schooled, and that's where I entered into music.
You cannot love this man enough. Jeduble Ambule, singer, songwriter, producer, multi-instrumentalist, born in 1947 in Sekondi in the Western region. The versatile artist exploded onto the music scene more than 40 years ago with what has been described as the factual first rap song in the world called Semingwadu. Let me take you back with these Ambule classics. The Ghanaian music colossus has shared stages with some of the world's most prominent musicians, Maria Makeba of South Africa, the late Fela Kuti of Nigeria, the late George Howard, and the late Manu Dibango. Now, after all these years, Ambule still remembers his breakthrough song.
The first song that I made, that was the song that made my name to be known in Ghana. It's called the Singadu Her Kwaji Baham about the booster do her. What are the Kwajus? The Ransa Panta Doko. About the Kwajus.
What would be his greatest, or rather most cherished achievement in his career till date?
In America, there's a place called Apollo Theater. That's a place that most of the musicians that we know, talking Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross, gone through that stage. I was able to set a record over there.
Well, if you're wondering how his rather interesting rap style came about, listen to what he told Becky in this interview.
There was a madman in Takoradi called Arakanya, and anytime you see him walking, he'll be murmuring like, and we'll be following him. Though we couldn't hear the words that he was singing, but it was good.
And the
spotlight is on.
Yes.
Jedouble Ambule. We're expecting more next week.
Yes.
And tonight on Ghana Connect, we're talking about reopening churches and mosques.
Okay.
And then tell me what's happening on Beyond the Lockdown on Sunday.
We have our entertainers passing through, of course.
We have
Diana Hamilton. We have Shatawale. And who else?
We have Teresa Yoade.
A lot of them.
Manifest as well. And of course,
Beyond
the Lockdown is on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on the Joy News channel. And that's it for the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks so much for your company.